You ever have one of those days where you step onto a plane just ready to disappear into the background? Maybe get some work done, or just zone out for a bit only to realize before you even hit your seat. The universe has something else planned? That was me, Isaiah Grant, the guy in the tailored Navy suit, standing smack in the middle of a Horizon Star 787, first-class boarding pass in hand, already being flagged by the lead flight attendant, Claire Donovan. She had this "I'm just following protocol" look about her, glued to her tablet like it gave her permission to ignore the actual people around her. She didn't waste time. "Sir, you've been marked as a discrepant passenger. I'll need you to step out and have your bags rescreened." All polite enough, but everyone heard Ivory Head in the first 6 rows snapped up. I'm not a small name in tech, 40 years old, founder of Quantum Core Solutions, decent enough resume that I don't usually get called out for extra screening. Not since I got out of grad school, at least. But that day, it was clear from her tone and the way she squared her shoulders, this wasn't about TSA or some random system error. I could feel Ida performance, a script she played before. I glanced at my pass, bold 6A right there, shrugged, and told her, "TSA already cleared my bags. If there's a problem, it's in your system, not mine." That didn't get me far. She stepped in close like standing over me would make her right. "Sir, I need your cooperation. Now, if you've flown enough, you know how this goes. The energy changes, the air gets thick, and suddenly everyone's waiting for you to blow up or back down." Neither happened. Instead, Victor Crane appeared, private equity guy, mid-40s, expensive suit, and an ego you could spot from the tarmac. He marched down the aisle, glaring, and barked, "You're in my seat." Didn't bother to check, just reached out and smacked my phone clean off the tray. Sent it sliding under someone's seat with a sharp little clatter. You know what I mean? Like he was swatting a fly. Claire didn't flinch. "Sir, please exit the aircraft now." I stayed planted. "Unless you can show me where my name doesn't match this seat, I'm not moving." She glanced at her tablet, mumbled something about my name not being confirmed, and suddenly, from the next row over, Aisha paddled me legal counsel, and a friend who saved me more times than I can count gave me this look that meant she was already 5 steps ahead. She tapped her phone. "Nadia, alert Grant Ventures, begin protocol." Somewhere across Miami, my chief of operations, Nadia Cole, started flipping switches. Escalation initiated. Standby. That's when things started to spiral. Claire turned to the cabin. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing a slight delay," and you could hear the murmur swell like a wave. I sat back down, picked up my phone, and tried to tune out the sting. But it wasn't new. I'd seen it before. The doubting, the "are you sure you belong here?" kind of silence. Victor still standing there, still waving his crumpled printout, sneered, "I have VIP priority. That seat's mine." He flashed a document, something doctored, obviously, and Claire just let it hang. "Your presence is delaying this flight, sir. We need to move forward." Aisha leaned forward from 5C, drafting a formal legal notice on the fly, already pinging the airline's legal team. A few rows back, a guy with a camera whispered to his phone, "Y'all are watching this live. Horizon Star flagging a black man in first class. Javier Morales, travel vlogger with a big following," and suddenly comments started pouring in, the view count ticking up 15,000, then 20. Every minute I stayed in my seat, the stakes rose. Then Victor leaned in, dropped a folded note onto my tray. "Leave first class." Written like a ransom demand. I held it up, let Claire see it. "Is this your policy now?" She stared right through me. Aisha's phone buzzed. Notice sent, time-stamped. Legal board notified. I turned to Claire. "You're sinking this airline, minute by minute, and every camera in here sees it." And right then, NPR picked up the story, and the tension went from private to global. Victor tried one last time, voice tight. "You know one. I've built companies that buy people like you." Aisha laughed under her breath. "He just said that out loud." I kept my voice steady. "This isn't the day you think it is." Claire wasn't budging, and neither was I. I told her, "You can ignore my past, my name, but you can't ignore what's coming." The sun outside dipped under the control tower. The plane's lighting shifted, and inside, something irreversible started to ripple through the news feeds, a name trending, a reckoning in real time. She walked up front, called the head of cabin ops Richard Vaughn, a man built more for photo ops than crisis. "We've got a passenger with unverified status in 6A, she said. "He checked my ID, didn't even meet my eye. Discrepant, he told Claire, not matching our logs. From 5C, Aisha pushed back. His boarding pass was scanned and cleared. "Are you overriding TSA now?" Richard brushed her off. And then, from 2 rows behind, Victor piped up, "I don't want to accuse anyone, but I think he took something from my carry-on. My wallet was in there, it's not now." He looked right at me, and the accusation hit like a slap. Cameras caught it. Javier spoke up. "Sir, are you accusing him of theft? Because this camera's been rolling since you boarded." Victor didn't flinch, and Claire let the suggestion hang. Up near the front, Ethan Pierce, systems coordinator, started fiddling with his console. He flagged my profile for verification, which killed my seat control slides, recline, everything. Cabin compliance alert is active. For safety, seat 6A is now in lockdown. Aisha whispered, "They're tampering with the manifest system." "Isaiah, this isn't incompetence. It's sabotage." I kept my voice low. "Nadia, escalate the bid." Back in Miami, she watched the stock. Volume spiking, institutional orders flying in. Claire, meanwhile, grabbed my briefcase, said, "FAA regs allow us to secure unaccompanied items." Javier's camera caught it. "You're removing his property?" It was beside him. Viewers passed 80,000. Someone up front whispered, "Isn't he the guy from Forbes?" I turned to Claire. "You're setting fire to your own airline, and your name is on every matchstick." She didn't care. She dropped my bag in a locker, went back to acting unbothered. Then, as the story started to trend, CNBC banner, "Black CEO claims racial profiling on Horizon Star flight." Victor leaned in for the last jab. "You're no tech titan here. You're a disruptive passenger." The cabin froze, and for the first time, I let my disappointment show. "You've elite. You've tampered. You've profiled. And still, you think I'm the threat." Claire took my smart glasses, waving them like contraband. "Unauthorized electronic equipment." I told her, "Those are assistive smart lenses. They're not cameras, and your handbook doesn't prohibit them." She ignored me, dropped them in a plastic tray like evidence. Victor stood up, pacing, waving a new fake voucher, shouting for attention. Claire ignored the circus and called for police presence at the gate. Ethan, sweating, flagged me as a disruptive passenger in the system. Cameras caught everything. Javier's audience hit 180,000. They're trying to disappear a billionaire in plain sight. Aisha whispered, "They've locked your manifest access." I handed her a chip, the final piece in the acquisition. "Prep the final sequence. Let them choke on the silence." Claire snapped, "You're being detained until authorities arrive. You're officially under investigation." Victor gloated, "Told you he wasn't who he says he is." But the laughter had faded. People were just watching now, quietly, like they knew the story wasn't going the way they'd expected. Airport police appeared, hands on belts, Claire waving them over. "That's him, seat 6A. Refused orders, tampered with tech, possibly stole property." Aisha stood. "Officers, my client is the principal shareholder in the process of acquiring this airline. His legal identity and actions are fully verified." The taller cop hesitated. "Acquiring?" Javier filmed. "CNN's watching. CNBC's on screen. Make one wrong move, and this goes global." The cop looked at me. "Sir, do you have identification or documentation?" Aisha replied, "Yes. And so does the Federal Aviation Board. Check their live ticker." The cabin monitor flickered, CNN breaking. Quantum Core CEO accused of profiling on Horizon Star flight. Acquisition rumors swirl. My profile and net worth, plain as day. Gas all around. Claire's mask cracked. She rushed to the intercom, shrieking about manipulation and lies, but no one moved. I said, "You've profiled me, lied, tried to eject me. But here I sit, untouched, watched, and when I rise, this airline won't belong to you anymore." From the back, a voice. "This feels like justice." Aisha leaned in. "Do we send the final confirmation?" I nodded. She tapped her tablet, and in that instant, Grant Ventures' acquisition went through. My watch buzzed. Now, let them explain this to their board. Claire demanded my detention. The officers hesitated. A wrongful detainment of a verified federal shareholder during a corporate acquisition will reach federal court before your shift ends, I said. The taller officer radioed for confirmation. Word came back. Controlling investor, verified. Claire's jaw dropped. Aisha announced. Holding confirmed. 56% of Horizon Star shares acquired. Status completed. The words froze the aisle. Aisha turned to the crew. Now one last thing. Internal review logs confirm Ethan Pierce attempted to ban DR. Grant. That command was blocked. We've documented it. Ethan, would you like to deny it while we're broadcasting live? Javier's stream hit over 300,000. Victor snarled, "This is a joke." But even the passengers in first class turned on him. Then, the final twister retired captain, Robert Ames, stood up. I filed 2 bias reports against Claire. They disappeared. Richard told me it made things cleaner for corporate. I didn't fight it, but someone made it matter. The whole cabin fell quiet. Unity Air's new logo lit up the screens. All policies, all staff, everything rebranded in real time. Welcome to a new era of accountability, the screen read. Aisha leaned over. We've finalized the Unity Fund Charter, its first initiative for scholarships and safe travel programs. I nodded. Let's build more runways for people like Danielle, the young attendant in tears at the galley. In the end, it wasn't a fight. It was a reckoning. The people who tried to erase me were escorted out not in cuffs, but in consequence. FAA, investigations, corporate audits, the whole mess finally out in daylight. Passengers, phones still raised, clapped for a minute that felt like history. Even as the noise faded, the spirit didn't. My name is DR. Isaiah Grant. Founder, CEO, and now owner of Unity Air. Not because I wanted the spotlight, but because someone had to show that bias doesn't ride in silence anymore. Not here. Not now. So, you tell me, is it justice, overreach, or just overdue? Drop your thoughts below. Where are you watching from? Like, subscribe, share, let's make this conversation travel farther than this flight ever could.